Hey guys, it's Casey and welcome back to my channel. And again, it's not 2025 anymore. Well, it is 2025, it literally is. But the days of 2025 are long over, so I don't know why I'm still trying to incorporate that into my introduction. But we're not doing days of 2025 today. We are going to be discussing a topic that wasn't my intention of sitting down to discuss tonight, because I just got back from my 3.5-day trip to Melbourne, which I have to take every 3 months to go talk to some scientists and a doctor from Harvard. And so I was going to discuss that and what that looks like and the reasons why I have to do that and my obligations as part of that. However, while I was gone this weekend, shit hit the fan in my town. And so instead of doing that and discussing that, which I might do tomorrow or I might do in a week or never, maybe in 3 months' time, I don't know. But instead of doing that, I want to discuss how things hit the fan, how things went tits up, and laugh about it because it's really, really funny. Because as it turns out, as it came out this weekend, our dearly beloved mayor, who shall remain nameless in honor of the deceased and also because I can't remember his name, apparently died 2 years ago in 2023, and we as a town are just finding out about it now. I'm not talking about the typical was voted out of office, moved to the Gold Coast, and is now considered metaphorically dead, sort of dead. Now I'm talking about the real deal, the full-blown, body went cold, full estate sale type of dead. 2 whole years. Nobody knew about it. And over this 2-year period in which we now understand that he was deceased the entire time during, he kept putting out press releases, he kept signing official documents, he kept sitting on the board of local businesses making important decisions that impacted everybody. And during all of these apparent civic events that he kept attending, not once did anyone ever stop and point out the fact that he was looking quite stiff over there. As it turns out, for the past 2 years, his interns have been cosplaying as puppeteers, forging his signature on whatever documents they wanted to support while moving his earthly remains from event to event like some kind of messed up variety show horror monster in a COVID mask. Now, if you're wondering, and I have no doubt that you are, how our town went 2 years without noticing that our mayor had been reduced to a marionette, well, it's really quite simple. Nobody paid that much attention to him when he was alive either. I mean, it's not like the mayor was particularly active in the community. His leadership style would probably be best described as benevolent absence. You know, he would sign some paperwork and he would smile at the camera and then he would call it a day into the next photo op. If you weren't paying close attention, it'd be pretty easy to assume that he was just busy or sleeping or both. Like I said, I was not there this weekend because unfortunately, Murphy's Law, I am here every weekend, but on the rare occasion that something interesting actually happens in this town, I am always away. And so, of course, that was the case this weekend. I was away in Melbourne doing my thing that I have to do to get my payment from the government and part of my treaty agreement. But from what I understand and what I have been told second and third hand, the big reveal went a little something like this. The interns responsible, allegedly responsible, we should go with that, they haven't been charged with anything, but allegedly responsible for the whole entire scandal, were caught red-handed dragging the mayor's body out of City Hall on what was either, depending on who you ask, was either a wheelie chair or a skateboard. And I'm sure that they had their reasons for dragging him out on whatever wheelie device it was. Wheelbarrow, skateboard, wheelie chair, rollerblades, who knows? Whatever wheeled device it was. You know, maybe it was a last-minute meet and greet with some big donors, or they were going on a weekend getaway that included unlimited tax-deductible embalming fluid. Who knows? You were no doubt wondering what happens when a sham of a puppet mayor is exposed to his adoring public. Well, unfortunately, our town is not a great test subject for that because everyone just collectively shrugged and said, well, yeah, that tracks. Because if nothing else, our town is disturbingly adaptable to weirdness. So, now that it has been thoroughly established that the old mayor has been playing the role of Bernie in a remake of Weekend at Bernie's for the last 2 years, who's wearing the pointy hat? Do mayors in your time wear pointy hats? I don't know. Clement, the new mayor, apparently he won in a landslide once it became general knowledge that the old mayor had no vital signs left. But how do I describe Clement? If you've watched my TikToks, you already know who Clement is, but for the vast majority of you, you never have. And so I don't even know where to begin on my good old friend. And I'm using friend in the most all loosest sense of the word. He's a weird one, which is really saying something considering the fact that it's coming from me. I have known Clement for multiple incarnations, and I do mean literal incarnations. The man has been grown and regrown more times than a cheap cheer pet. But short version of the story, the man is basically just a normal human now. Long version of the story, well, it involves my ex-favourite co-worker Jared, who came directly from the prison release program, a literal government plant, and a weirdly relaxing corpse pit that I got thrown into once. Good times. Anyway, Clement is so accident prone that it's basically a superpower. He will slip on a banana peel, break his neck, and then mysteriously pop back up a week later with a fresh haircut as if nothing ever happened. And that's who's in charge now. Is he better than a literal rotting corpse that is being puppeteered by final year law students? Probably. Is it that much better? No. I can only assume that the old mayor's interns are facing some pretty serious charges right about now because no one knows where they are, so we're assuming that they're being held in custody. So it's either that or they've quietly skipped town to go join a travelling production of Don't Tell Mum the Babysitter's Dead the musical, because apparently that's something that people do now. No, wait, that came out completely wrong. I'm not trying to say that, people drag a dead corpse around pretending to pose it like it's alive for 2 years and then go live out their Broadway dreams. But I do hear that it is a thing now that they're making, cult movies into Broadway musicals. Not that those two things are connected in any way. I mean, it could be. Who am I to say that Broadway performers don't have a few corpses in their cupboards? The new mayor is still accident prone and lacks a last name, which Nate swears is normal for famous people, but I argue that Clement is not a famous person. And Michelle is balancing therapy with her deputy duties and the oh-so-glamorous job of triple-double checking that every other government official in office in our town is not secretly a kidnapped corpse. And as for me, like I said, I just got done meeting with Dr. Roach and the other scientists in my... Is there a word? Is there a word for every 3 months? Like, I want to say bi-monthly, but it's not bi-monthly because bi-monthly is every 2 months. I don't think there is. Is it quarterly? Yes, my quarterly visit. No, it's not even quarterly. What is in between quarterly and bi-monthly? Anyway. Forget that rant. That rant is not important. Let's just say I am dealing with my own brand of weird. But this whole fiasco has also reminded me about all the good things that I really enjoy about living in this town. For example, ever since I've gotten home, every time that my phone buzzes, I look at it and it's a message from Michelle saying something like, "Explain to me again how you killed Clement with a blowtorch 4 years ago and now he's currently the mayor." And that just makes me smile because at the end of the day, if you can't share your nightmarish daily events with your friends, then what's the point of having friends to begin with? That's my update for tonight. The mayor is dead and we are somehow finding out about it 2 years later. And along the way, we are learning a very important message about how nobody pays attention to the details anymore, and we probably should. But anyway, this is Casey signing off for the night. As always, stay weird out there, stay safe, and maybe consider keeping a can of gasoline handy, just in case.